I made a hole in the roof. Today's the day. The day that every van purchaser, converter, owner, person dreads. Cutting a big old hole in the roof. What do you think, Sam? Sick of me. My name is Tiffany, and I'm here to talk to you about putting big holes in the roof of your van. This is Sailor. So the plan all along in the van build was to put a fan in the middle of the ceiling. That way you get a good Okay, this isn't working. Okay, so the plan all along was to do one fan in the middle of the roof somewhere, and then do 2 sliding windows on the sides over the bed. And the way that was gonna work is that you would put the fan on exhaust, so it is pulling the air out, and then the windows have air coming in, so it kind of creates this vacuum once the doors are all shut. So that was the original plan. I had ordered the fan from Amazon. That was fine. That came like within 2 days or something. So I ordered the 2 sliding windows, and I actually found a place that would ship it to a middleman somewhere near my house, so I could actually save some cash by going straight to the place and picking up the windows. But everything was on back order, so it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. You good? And eventually I had to just cancel the order because I had to leave. So my plan shifted, and I ended up deciding to do 2 fans. And then with the 2 fans, I could create that cyclone air circulation flow without having to get the windows. And it actually worked out that I would save a little bit by not having to order the windows anyway. So that was fine. So the first fan install was, of course, terrifying, which everyone says, and it's absolutely true. All right, I'm up here with this fly. Everyone kept telling me this is something you're going to want to start really early in the day. You're going to want to plan it out, be ready to do it, start early so that you don't run out of time. Can you see me there? I'm impatient, so that wasn't a thing I was going to do. So despite everyone's warnings, I decided to start the first fan install at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They were right. It was not enough time to do what I needed to do. So actually towards the end of the footage, it's dark. I'm not even capturing everything like I should be because it was just, you know, scrambling, trying to get it done in time. But that's my own fault. I can't blame anyone but myself. Me, just taping. Just your average Thursday. So I didn't really do a step-by-step instruction thing for the first fan install because, you know, I started halfway through the day and ran out of time. And so I have a little bit of it, but I wasn't really talking about what I was doing. So when I changed course and decided to do the second fan, I decided to do a more step-by-step, like explaining what I was doing. So if you're more interested in seeing a step-by-step instructional kind of thing, you can just kind of skip through all my antics in installing that first fan, which was interesting, and go straight to that and get, you know, hopefully some actual helpful information. But, you know, no promises on that one either. And I'm taping it so I can scuff it up, and also so that the jigsaw doesn't scratch up my ceiling, my roof. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, something like that, complete. The first fan install was actually surprisingly pretty easy. I made a hole in the roof. 1. Should I go with a 1? Watch me be a dumbass.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. It was loud doing the cutting with the jigsaw. Come here. You know, all that stuff was to be expected. Hashtag Vanlife. But it actually was pretty smooth sailing. But once I got to the part where I was actually securing the fan flange to the little adapter thing, because there's like these deeper grooves in the top of the the roof of the Promaster kind of has this, like, I don't know what you call that, like a corrugated kind of pattern. So there's like deeper parts and higher parts. And with the adapter, you put it in and it kind of, you know, the bottom fits into those grooves, but then the top is smooth. But that means you need longer screws to get through the deeper parts of the plastic on that little adapter thing. So it was pretty smooth sailing until we got to that point where we had to start digging around for longer screws, and it was dark out by that point. And so my brother's digging through and showing me things, and I'm trying to measure and hold it up and compare it, and we're trying to do it. We figured it out. There were these longer screws that were sticking down, but once we put the insulation up, it didn't matter. Anyway, it turns out I'm an idiot because the actual adapter comes with those longer screws, but I lost that in the process of getting instructions and all the different parts that had to be installed, and I just forgot about it. So way after the fact, I discovered that it actually came with the right screws. So everyone, when you watch these YouTube videos, makes it really clear that, you know, you have to clean up anything that you cut or drill or sand because they will rust up your roof. And when we were done with the fan, I thought we had cleaned up pretty well, but again, we had finished late at night, so it was dark out, and apparently I just never went back up to check on it. So turns out I didn't clean up that well. Yeesh. I found all sorts of things up there, which is shocking because I'd been driving around with the van. I'm here to tell you that you must really vacuum and clean it up. Make sure you get everything off of there. All right, I'm up on the roof, dripping sweat, trying to clean it up because it's been sitting here for a few months while I work on it, not being driven a lot, and it has been collecting pollen and leaves and dirt and everything else. So now I have come to find rust. Okay. Rust. Which sucks. In the end, it ended up not being that big a deal because I got this Rust-Oleum product that's like a spray. It's like a gel. Because it was just surface rust, it came off pretty easily. With just a little bit of like light steel wool and that gel stuff, it worked wonders. So for the second fan, I smartened up slightly and I started measuring and prepping the day before. So I actually ended up getting a lot done that first day, and then the second day I could actually go out there and do the cutting. Makes sense. Hi. All right, we're figuring out the second rooftop fan situation. I wanted to measure from here, but evidently this corresponds to nothing inside, so it's making it a little bit hard to measure. The approximate measurement from here to the furring strip beam is 24 inches, which I believe is like right here. We measured from inside too, obviously. If I cut here, which is 2.5 inches away from where that furring strip supposedly begins, then I should miss the beam because I don't want to cut through that. I have this 3D printed template that Dog Cat Man Van actually recommended on his channel, and it has these this groove pattern thing here. First, you want to use some blue painter's tape to tape 1/4 inch outside the adapter, which I have pre-drilled with lining up with the actual fan flange. Hey, get out of here. Because these are sold separately. This one doesn't come with holes. And the reason why is because you're going to want to use steel wool to scuff up the paint to make sure that everything, like the glue and everything you're putting there, is going to adhere really well. And the other reason is because when you start putting that black flashing glue stuff around there, you want to be able to peel off that tape and just have a nice edge. I ended up using a second piece of painter's tape just to protect the paint from the actual jigsaw, so when I'm cutting it could slide on the tape and not the paint on the roof. The next thing you want to do is to drill the pilot holes into the roof itself, and that is where you're going to start your cuts with the jigsaw. And he gets stuck.
Oh, you got stuck?
Yeah. Which is okay, actually, because then you can tell me if you can see him. Ow. That cut so much easier than the last one. It was just like, whoa, okay, we're going. Next, after you do your cuts, you want to make sure you clean up thoroughly, like I forgot to do on the first one. Otherwise, you're gonna get rust. Then, once it's cut and you've cleaned up, you want to use a rust protecting paint. I used a Rust-Oleum paint to just paint that raw edge of the part you just cut out. Again, rust. Then you're basically making a sandwich with all the things that you have. So the first thing you want to do is to put that black flashing goo stuff under the adapter, so it'll make a watertight seal between the adapter and the roof. That's like your first layer. I was too lazy to go get another tube of the flashing, so I just used the one I had and cut like the entire top of it off. So it was coming out really thick for me, which is fine, but that's just why in the video it looks insane. If you're using a normal tip and you cut it at a normal size, you'll be using, I think they recommend doing 3 beads around. Next, you're going to be putting the fan flange onto the adapter. So you're going to do another watertight seal under that, and for that you can use butyl tape. So you want to put that between the adapter and the flange. I forgot this part, so I had to do all these other steps and then go back and put the butyl tape back in there. Forgot the butyl tape, of course. And the butyl tape is cool because then once you screw through it, it kind of squishes down, and then all the gooey tape stuff, glue, clay stuff, comes like squishing through those holes. So it seals up the holes you've drilled, and it helps seal the whole edge around it. This whole video is me doing this and this. So the trick of butyl tape, if it's sticking, is to stick it in the freezer for 15 minutes and then bring it back out to room temperature. And then it stops it sticking from the tape, supposedly. We'll see. Maybe? There we go. So then you're going to screw through the roof, in through the flange, into the adapter, into the roof with the screws. And like I said, if you're using the adapter, make sure you have the long screws that come with the adapter for those deeper sections. First time when I did the first fan, I used a drill to drill all those screws in. And because they're Phillips head, and Phillips head are the worst, I stripped so many of those screws and it was really annoying. So on the second fan, I ended up using just a regular screwdriver to screw them in, and that worked much better. It was like a little bit more effort, but you know, none of them stripped out, so that was good. And after that, you just attach the fan to the fan flange and adapter using just, I think it's like 4 screws on the side. They just go right in. There's black goos everywhere. And that was that. That was the second fan install. So overall, not that hard. Very intimidating, but not that hard. Cool. I'm glad I did the 2 fans. I do kind of wish I had windows on the side, which, you know, when I have more time, I might add those later. Having the 2 fans is great. It really does give you a good amount of circulation in here. I can close everything up and just have the 2 fans running on a relatively low speed, and it's pretty great. It's comfortable. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for coming here. Thanks for coming. I hope that helps somebody. I know there's a million videos on this, but who knows? That's it. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. I can't wait to show you the rest of the van. Like I said, it's not finished, but you know, it will be. And it's working just fine. It doesn't have to be picture perfect all the time, ready for Instagram. Maybe it does, I don't know. Subscribe and alert, and you know, what's the other thing? Subscribe. Stay in touch. Find us on Instagram. Say hello. I think that's it. All right. It's cold. Whew.
Yeah, don't go in the van. Come here.